All right, I'm going to take you to the lightning round, which are four quick questions that should be hopefully somewhat fun.
Okay. All of these questions have been like the lightning round. You go for the core, girl.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. What is your go-to hot beverage?
My go-to beverage. Oh, yeah. So every morning I start my morning with the blend. It's Dandy Blend. So it's dandelion root. It's called Dandy Blend. It's like it's a mix of dandelion and burdock. And then I add a teaspoon um, of my Five Defender mushroom chocolate. So, and then I add a little bit of macuna of velvet bean or macuna to that. And I stir that up. And of course, I add boiling water to that, and then I have a little frother and I froth half and half. I was a dairy girl, right? So real milk, please. Thank you. And I froth that up. My frother heats it as well as froths it, and I pour that over it. Then I have a little mix of like a chai mix, I sprinkle on the top, and then I take maple syrup and I scoop it around. And it is so delicious. But in that drink, I'm getting the bitters of dandelion. So liver, it's being happy. I'm getting my mushroom extracts, which are so healing for me. I get a little bit of chocolate, just a tiny bit. And yeah, it's so good. That's my beverage for most mornings.
And you make this yourself, or this is something that's available that people can buy in a store?
Yeah, so you can make it yourself, but Dandy Blend, it's called Dandy Blend, is a mixture that a dear friend of mine many, many years ago made.
Yeah.
He's since passed away. Gail Pete Gail Peter Gale was his name, and then his two daughters took over the company. So you can buy Dandy Blend almost anywhere. You can go online, and then the five defenders is done by Real Mushrooms. So you buy it in a mix. I get it their chocolate mix. So it's a bitter, beautiful organic bitter chocolate with five different very medicinal mushrooms in it, and it's delicious. Yeah, so I get both of those. And the Mucuna, the velvet bean, it's an Ayurvedic herb. It's used in Ayurvedic healing. It's very high in dopamine, right? So it helps to um, you know, I had some recent deaths in my family, so I am really taking the herbs that help uplift the spirit, and dopamine is one of those. It just helps keep me positive in my world.
It's important right now too. The
Yeah, it's
world itself
important.
is
Yeah,
very oppressive right now, so that
yeah.
sounds wonderful. Being that we all return back to the earth, how do you understand death and how our bodies can furnish new life?
Well, I'm hoping that when I die, I get just put my little body in Vermont. You can do that. You can be buried on your land
Oh,
just with your body. Yeah. So
wow.
I went my up on Sage Mountain, like we at my beautiful retreat center that I lived at for 35 years here, Sage Mountain Herbal Retreat Center. My husband and I moved from there because it was a 600-acre parcel, and it was just getting, I'm in my late 70s now. So it's just getting a lot for my husband and I to manage. So a very young, vital, wonderful herbalist has taken it on and manages it beautifully as a wilderness retreat center. But Robert and I both want to have our bodies buried there. We've already picked out the rocks, so we want to be buried near. And I want to have a tree planted right in on me so I can turn into a tree.
Yeah.
I'm excited about it, actually. I have no idea. I call it the great mystery beyond the veil, but I absolutely know two things I know that are my truth. One is our bodies go back to the earth,
Yeah.
and the spirit, the spark that we are, is ever growing. It ever lives on. That little spark that's, not us. It's just this, it belongs to the life, and it's always circulating, like a drop of water is always circulating, or like the air we breathe is always circulating. So the spark of life that came in
Yeah.
to my parents when they conceived me in love that night that they were having fun, that will go on. I'll offer that back to the universe. But my body will have done its job carrying the spark of life around, and it will go back into the earth and feed the earthworms and whatever.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to the journey.
No, I like that too, and that's something at least that I've thought about is like I don't really want to be in a box. I think I just
Oh,
would like to go
heavens.
back.
It's stealing the earth. It has to work so hard to get you back, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
just let you go.
just let you go.
What is an herb that has changed your life and why?
Yeah, well, so many herbs. I have three that pop right into my head. I would say nettle is probably the three were nettle, self-heal, little prunella vulgaris, and rosemary, or by my namesake. But I wasn't named after Rosemary, by the way. I was named after my two grandmothers. But anyway, but I will pick nettle because it's interesting. Nettle has become very, very popular. But when I first fell in love with it when I was young, um, and I just love it because it's nourishing. So it's one of the most nourishing plants. You could survive on nettle. It's high in, all the trace minerals, all the vitamins and minerals, and it has a high protein content as well. It's also delicious once it's steamed, because it has that formic acid and it's really can really put big welts on your body. And then it also is incredibly healing for the body and several major organ systems. It's a primary herb for the liver, the reproductive system, the respiratory system. So a primary herb. So it's amazing, right? But one of the real reasons that I said that why I would choose that one is because I love its personality, right? So it can reach out and just sting you and give you the biggest welts. But once you learn to work with it, you can actually pick it with your bare hands. And it really is the first plant that taught me about plant spirit communication, like how we can really communicate with plants and work with plants. So I love that plant for that reason.
It sounds very magical. Give me three of your favorite albums and why.
Oh, albums. Well, I love the Rising Appalachia Girls. I
Mhm.
love them so much. They're so, first of all, I know them personally and I just love who they are. But their music is so empowering, and they're so conscious of social adjustments and injustices, and they really work with the people. That's their whole gist of their music. And their music is fun. They can do bar music and fun, just fiddle music, but then they can do soulful music. So I love all of their albums. And I love Van Morrison too, because he just takes me back to when I was young, and I love all of his music. And I'm a huge fan of Bob Dylan,
Mm.
the early Bob Dylan, right? The folk singer Bob Dylan. But particular albums, well, nothing's really jumping into my head, but those musicians I love.
It's perfect. It's totally perfect.